Kenneth Plummer, and I do say it, yes, Kenneth Plummer says that nothing is sexual, but naming it makes it so. Meaning that once someone names something as sexual, it is sexual. And anything you can name right now, there's somebody out there who has that sexual predilection. I've interviewed hundreds of people over the years on their sexual desires and their sexual predilections, and I've heard it all. Seriously, I've heard it all. Nobody can shock me.
And there must be someone else with more questions.
After you, Craig.
After you.
No, not for me.
Well, that's a great question, so keep talking. What was it that you said earlier, that you're basically under construction yet?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, okay, so-
Yeah. I'm all, yeah.
He's gonna talk about another film we're working on.
Yeah, I know.
He'll be involved in it.
Yeah.
Jill, I'd like to just ask you a question. You seem very excited and thrilled to work with Kay, and just like your comments on what your thoughts were with actually working with Kay and her personality and things she does for people.
Yes, I love that you asked me that question, because I was standing over here listening to everybody else and I'm thinking, Kay, Kay, Kay. I find Kay to be an absolutely fascinating person. I'm going to go right back to that, but to get to what I want to say, in watching the movie today, which was the first time I've seen it, I'm like Kay, I come from my heart. So if I say certain things, sometimes they make me teary-eyed. I just hope that doesn't happen right now. I was very struck watching the movie from a compassionate point of view about how these people in this industry, and it just really struck my heart, that word that was used, how it was described, them being marginalized. As human beings that walk around the planet when they're done with that, or during it, or whatever, but as human beings. And the thing, I think I too, even before I met Kay, maybe had a built-in prejudice that you don't even know exists until you're confronted with it, and then you have to look in the mirror at yourself and think to yourself, oh, I do, I'm just that kind of person, consciousness. Well, what's that about? What's that about? Why am I being judgmental? Why do I feel this bone to be judgmental? And I'm so grateful to have had the experience of getting to know her and having discussions with her, because she is a walking example on the planet of no person should ever be marginalized, ever. She is an extraordinary person. I just want to tell one little story. She came to a class of mine that I teach, and I was talking with David about this yesterday, and I had no idea that Kay wanted to be an actress, that was her original thing that brought her out to LA and that got her in the industry, the adult film industry. But she came to my class and she did this extraordinary scene. And I have seen over the years hundreds and hundreds, into the thousands of actors, you know, come through those doors. Many of them have gone on to win Academy Awards and stuff, Emmys. And I told David yesterday, she did this scene, and I'm telling you, she was extraordinary. This woman is extraordinarily talented, and she listens to that voice, that inner voice, that, like she said, a spirit guide, and it was extraordinary. I would put her at number 1 or number 2 of hundreds, probably into the low thousands of actors that I have seen who have natural, raw, organic talent. She is really a force to be reckoned with.
Thank you very much. That was very nice, very nice. Any other quick questions from the audience? Yes, sir.
That's for David. I watched Taboo, okay, many years ago. I more or less saw Kay as an actress more than a sex star. And I want your opinion on what you thought.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Just like Jill said, she's a tremendous actress. She did not When she went out to California, she's from England. Well, when she went out to California, she went there to be a mainstream actress. She took acting classes, and she, through friends of hers, got into the adult film business. But she has done a couple little parts in mainstream films. This Little Whorehouse in Texas with Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. She's in the opening montage of that. And she's done a movie with Peter O'Toole. She plays a very small part in that. But no, Kay told me early on when we met, like it says in the film, that when you see her having sex on screen, she's not actually having sex. She's acting. And she says it's impossible to really have sex when a 300-pound cameraman is straddling you to get your reaction. So I completely agree. Her acting takes over. There's one that's even better where she actually has to do Shakespeare. Watch her film Private Teacher. That's her best acting, and she thinks that's her best acting as well.
Other questions?
Bob, I have a follow-up on that.
Sure.
Yeah, the follow-up is as far as Kay is not changing, she's changing my life, and I realized when we started on this project, as a filmmaker, I just started a project with this great Kay Parker story. And it started evolving to me that I want to start talking to Kay a lot. We are going to be following up this with another documentary. We've already started it. And now it's become like a mission for us. Kay Parker tells me you have to continue with what's going on in the world right now. I mean, there's a reason why there's 5 women on the Person of the Year for a reason. But there's a lot of reasons for it. And that's part of the taboo that everyone buried this thing. And it's time they start getting this out and realize, let's get it in the open. That's why our next documentary, it's directly based on all aspects of sexuality. That it's not everything should be taboo, not that everything is right in certain things, but let's have an open discussion and realize, I mean, we don't want to go back in the dark ages again. If you remember what happened when AIDS first came up, people were catching it because it was buried. No one wanted to talk about it. So one thing we want to do is continue this, and that's part of the peace aspect of what Kay brings about in the world. Not everything is evil or bad or sick, but at least let's talk about it and get things open, okay?
You talked about the next film, and I want to ask David, the next film they're going to be working on is called Speaking Through the Silence, and that takes this to a whole new level, as Craig has alluded to here. And so in the short time we've got left, David, can you give me just kind of a quick thumbnail about your vision for that film?
It actually comes from a thesis I wrote in Minnesota about how lives are destroyed. Craig kind of started bringing it up here. How lives are destroyed because of stigmatization and judgment of their sexuality. And it's going to start there. That's the foundation of it. Like I said earlier, I've interviewed hundreds of people, and I have seen lives shattered, torn apart for very innocent sexual desires. And so we're starting that, but it also goes off into the very serious aspects of sexuality in the world, everything from sex trafficking to the Me Too movement and a whole host of other venues, trying to be all-encompassing into this, what sexuality needs to be in our time.
I'm going to ask Mike one more question. We've got a whole list of films that Persistent Productions is working on.
More questions?
Oh, sure. You got another question?
I do.
Okay.
Well, it would be 4K if she were here, but maybe y'all know her well enough to answer it for her. I don't feel like I really grasp is there any fear there for her having people come to her for what she does now does she have to take precaution because of this issue? Like, does she still have fear, like when people come to her house? Does she have to have like bodyguards, security, dogs? Because she's doing this work in her house, and I feel like, has she ever had fear?
She doesn't. She doesn't. She will take anyone in, to help them. A lot of what she doesn't just do it in California. If you go to ktaylorparker.com, she does sessions via Skype, via telephone, however she can help people. She lives in an area where there's lots of people around her, so she would, if something bad would happen, she would have people around her. But no, she's not afraid. She's looking to help everyone, one person at a time.
That's good.
I have to say, though, great, thank you. With the microphone, great. I thought the exact same thing. I can't see who asked that question, but I thought the exact same thing as I was watching the movie and having been to where she lives and knowing what it's like. I think as women, there's just an organic, visceral response we have to, wow, hearing that these men have come to her and they want to, I don't know her movies, but it's referred to in this film all the time, the character that she played, do they want to meet that character, do they want to meet Kay Parker? And I thought the exact same thing. It brought up a visceral fear in me for her.
Any other questions? Sorry, I thought we were down, but thank you. That was a very good question. Anything else? All right, I do want to just give Mike a quick moment to plug some of our upcoming films because we got a lot of exciting things on our list. Mike?
Thank you. Well, as I alluded to earlier, Speaking Through the Silence, we're going to be doing a Indiegogo site for that to get that rolling within the next week or so. And if you go to Persistent Productions LLC Facebook page, we'll keep you updated on that. Sign up, like it, whatever. The other thing we're doing right now is a film called The Harbinger, and that's actually being filmed up in the Iron Range. They're actually building sets right now at Iron Mountain Studios for that. I was told last night that they're building a 60-foot